Hello guys, welcome back to some Frosti-Town. Today we're gonna be modeling something like this. So let's turn these guys on and let's turn on our shortcut keys. Let's go to the right view and let's scale on the y-axis to right about here. Let's select this guy and let's control B this and bring it somewhere right about here. And let's select this edge and control B this. Let's select both of these edges and control B this and bring it somewhere right about here, and let's control B this to something right about here. Let's select this guy, control B this to bring it somewhere right about here. Right about here. Then we're going to go into hardops and boxcutter by pressing Alt W. I'm using hardops and boxcutter. It's a very useful tool, so I suggest you get it. And we are going to cut this area. Yeah, I think we should cut somewhere right about here. Okay, so we have something like this. I'm gonna go into face select and I'm gonna scale this to right about here. And let's scale on the x-axis because it's too thick to right about here. Okay, so the next thing what we're going to do is we are going to let's go back into face and let's just bring it somewhere right about here. And the next thing what we're going to do is we're going to create a cylinder. We're going to give it 90 verts, RY or X 90, and we're going to scale it down. We're going to bring it down to somewhere right about here, and I'm going to scale on the y-axis and I'm going to bring it up to something right about here. Let's scale this guy up so we have something like this. The next thing what we're going to do is we're gonna go into object and press G, bring it down, and I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna go back into ever scroll and we're gonna bring it somewhere right about here so we have something like this. And the next thing what we're gonna do is we are going to press left control and we're gonna drag this, and I'm gonna press A and I'm gonna bring this out so we have something like this. And I'm gonna select this edge and I'm gonna control B it, and I'm gonna select this guy. I'm gonna bring this down and we'll bring this in. Let's save this. So we have something like this. Okay, no, looks good. Let's create a plane and let's bring it here. Let's scale it down, bring it somewhere right about here, bring it somewhere right about here. And what we are going to do is we're going to go into edge select mode. We're going to select this edge and we're going to extrude this up and bring it somewhere right about here, and we're gonna scale this on the y-axis to right about here, and we are going to press alt X it to the other side, and we're gonna solidify this downwards to something like this. But we're gonna bring this guy down to right about here, and I'm gonna sharpen this, and I'm gonna shift D this, and we're gonna bring this up to something like here, and we're gonna scale this on the y-axis to right about here, and we're gonna bring this one down, and we're gonna scale this on the y-axis to something right about there. Probably if we bring it a bit higher, that should do the trick. Alright, the next thing we're gonna be doing is we are going to add a cylinder RX90, and we're gonna bevel this. Let's go to the back side, and I'm gonna bring it here, and I'm gonna scale it down and bring it up, bring it somewhere right about here, and we're gonna scale on the y-axis, bring it at the y-axis, and I'm gonna alt X this to the other side, and we're gonna bring this down. I'm gonna scale on the y-axis. I'm gonna go into edit mode, and I'm gonna create a loop cut, Control B. There we go. And we are going to go in proportional editing, smooth, and we are going to scale this somewhere right about here, and we're gonna select this guy, and we're gonna Control B this somewhere right about here. I'm gonna select this guy, and I'm gonna Control B this, and we're gonna select this phase, and I'm gonna inset it, bring it in, inset it again, bring it out, inset it, and bring it in. I'm gonna select this guy, and I'm gonna inset it, and I'm gonna bring it in, and I'm gonna inset it, and we're gonna bring it in. So we have something like this, and we're gonna bring it down a bit, and I'm gonna go into make tool, and I'm gonna go into line tool, and I'm gonna create something like this. So we have something and we're gonna select these two, and we're gonna alt X this to the other side, so we have something like this. Let's save this. And the next thing we should be doing is we're gonna go into hardops and box cutter. We're gonna go into cut mode, and let's sharpen this and let's make it a bit thicker. And what we are going to do is we're gonna cut some, and we're gonna select this guy, and we're gonna cut some here. I'm gonna place some cuts over here, and I'm gonna place some cuts over here, and I'm gonna place some cuts over here. Alright, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go into hardops, mesh tools, shift and smart apply, and scale it, or maybe we should solidify it just a bit. There we go. And what we are going to do is we are going to start cutting, and we're going to go into line box, and I'm going to start cutting. So we're gonna cut hit this guy, and we're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna go mesh tool, left shift, smart apply, Q, and modifier, and we're gonna apply solidify just a bit like that, and we are going to put some cuts in this, and we're gonna put some cuts in this too. So we have something like this. Maybe if we should bring it down like this and bring it up, and let's what if we rotate it to something like this? Would it make sense? Yeah, it makes sense a little bit. Alright, we're gonna roll with this one. Alright, so the next thing we're gonna be doing is we are going to bevel this, and I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go into cut mode, and I'm gonna press X, and I'm gonna send it through, and we are going to left control sharpen this, and we are going to press X, send that through, and send that through, and we're gonna go here, gonna go here, gonna go here, 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 and somewhere right about here. And I'm gonna control B this, scale it down a bit, press X, and send it through. Let's try that again. And I'm gonna send it through. Okay, and we're going to sharpen this, we are going to sharpen this, and we're going to sharpen this. Gonna sharpen this, left control sharpen, left control sharpen. Let's go to the top view and select this guy, and what we are going to do is we are going to create a cut over here, press X, and we're going to sharpen this, and I'm gonna press Alt X and bring it to the other side. Maybe just a bit deeper. So we have something like this. Okay, time to add bevels. And I'm gonna add some bevels in here. And I'm gonna save this. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is let's just change it to something like this, and we're gonna select this guy. We're gonna press W, we're gonna press D, we're gonna go into trim sheets and Alt, and we have something like this. We're gonna increase the emission, and we're gonna start adding some materials. So what we're going to do is we're gonna add a no so we have something like this, and I'm gonna go here. We're gonna give this guy a metallic, and I'm gonna bring this down a bit. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do some cool stuff with this. So we're gonna press Q, and we're gonna go to mesh tool, left shift, smart apply, and we're gonna go into Q, add modifier, and we're gonna solidify this a little bit, and we're gonna press Alt W, and we're gonna go into cut, and we're gonna press V, and we are going to cut this like this. So we're gonna give it an orange material, Why isn't okay? So this was a problem. I'm gonna keep this orange, and we are going to keep this metallic, and I'm gonna bring the base color down to right about here, and I'm gonna select this guy, and I'm gonna sharpen this, and I'm gonna press W, D, and there we go. And we are going to increase the emission strength, and so we have something like this. What we are going to do is we're going to go to the right view, and we're going to press Q and left shift multiply, Q hard ops, and we're going to go into modifiers, and we're going to add a solidify. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to press Alt W, and I'm gonna bring this up to right about here, and I'm gonna press V, and I'm gonna send this guy through. And we're gonna select these guys, and we're gonna give them an emission strength of 6, give them greenish, And what we are going to do here is I'm going to sharpen these, and we're going to go into circle, and we're gonna send one through. Okay, so we are going to left control sharpen this, we're going to left control sharpen this, and we're going to left control sharpen this, and we're going to select this guy, and we're going to give it an emission strength of 6. I'm going to give it bluish, and I'm going to give it the same here. And we're gonna give this a metallic, bring it down a bit, and we're gonna give this a metallic, and probably just a little bit like that, and we are going to give this an emission, and give this an orange color, let's save this, and let's sharpen these, And let's go into object mode and let's create something like this, and let's sharpen these. Q left control sharpen, Q left control sharpen, and we're gonna go here and we're gonna give this an emission. And let's make one over here, and let's sharpen these, left control sharpen these, and there we go. So we have something like this. Alright, so there we go. Next thing what we're going to do is we're going to create a cylinder, and we're going to bring it down, and I'm going to scale it up, scale on the z-axis, bring it somewhere right about here, Shift D, scale it up, bring it down, so we have something like this. I'm gonna select this guy and we're gonna bring this down a bit, and we're gonna bring this somewhere right about here. And the next thing we should be doing is we're gonna add a plane, and we're gonna scale this guy up. I'm gonna bring this guy down to right about here, and gonna go into vertex. Nope, press W. I'm gonna select these, Control Shift B, scroll up, get as max verts as you can, and then select them, press E, Control Z, E and Z. Going to edge select mode, select this edge and Control B this, and left control sharpen this. Okay, I'm gonna select this guy, and I'm gonna add something like this, and bring it somewhere right about here, and we are gonna press D and project. I'm gonna go into somewhere right about here. Alt, and there we go. Let's go to the top view and scale it down, or maybe so we have something like this. Maybe if we could yeah, this seems about right. Let's go to the top view and we're gonna project it. And what we're going to do is we're gonna select this guy and I'm gonna give it an orange. So we have something like this. Control Alt 0. Let's keep this 250. Denoise. Bring this here, and render the image. For some reason Alright, there we go. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share. As always, stay frosty, and Frosti-Town signing out.